Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. Let me tell you about today's episode. The first of the month is always kit building time for me as part of the design team at the Counterfeit Kit Club. We always have an inspiration that we use, and this time around it's Cocoa Daisy. And I pulled inspiration from various pieces of this kit as I've shown you. So let's go ahead and dive into the inspiration and then do my kit build. Our kit hostess this month is team member Cindy, and she chose for us the Cocoa Daisy Elegance Blooms Modern Memory Keeping Kit from February of 2022. Now, when Cocoa Daisy releases their monthly kits, they have a lot of stuff that goes along with these kits in various paper crafting forms. So I'm going to walk you through some of that very briefly, and then I will show you close-up photos of the things that grabbed my attention the most. So this modern memory keeping kit has smaller page sizes to it. It's not a traditional 12 by 12 kit. But you can see here that they do have 12 by 12 papers, and I believe, oh, this is, there we go, that's where it is. This is their scrapbooking kit, which includes a lot of similar elements in all of their kits, but also the 12 by 12 pattern papers. Okay, that's what's going on there. So we did see those. These are the planner papers that come in a couple of varieties, so you can draw inspiration from any of those. There are also various add-on embellishments, so these are some die-cut tabs and floral elements. Washi tapes are always add-ons. They have a couple of choices. Stamp sets, I think those come in certain kits, so you can look at them between kits or think about them individually. Pocket cards for pocket scrapbookers, various stickers. This is actually an overlay for a planner, and since I'm not a planner scrapbooker, I like counterfeiting my kits so I can incorporate these ideas into the size that I prefer. And then, of course, no kit is complete without some alphabets, so we have a bit of a cream, kind of an aqua. This one is a little bit of an ombre alphabet. And then we have a teal down here. All right, let's take a closer look at some of the things that I pulled up. Let me increase this size so that we can see it better. All right, this is the Modern Memory Keeping Kit, which was our base of inspiration. I am seeing frames in here, which I love to use, so I will definitely incorporate some of those. I do have a frame maker tool, so I will probably go ahead and pull that out. I love enamel dots, so those are going to go in my kit for sure. Let's see, stamp set. This one is very Valentine's themed since February is a Valentine's month. So I might go in that direction, but I might shift it up because I like my kits to be usable across a wide range of stories so that I'm not stuck into one season. And then lots of kind of chipboard elements and more die cut elements. I'm liking some of these banner pieces, some label sticker kind of pieces, tags, hearts. I love hearts any time of year, so those can be added to my kit. Arrows, I love arrows as well. So those are good ideas. And this is the scrapbooking version. Notice you can see some of the same elements. So we have some floral die cuts, frames, arrows, hearts. So we've got a lot of the same stuff going on here, and definitely many of these patterns in the papers overlap. And there's a closer look at these papers. Now what I'm noticing here is they kind of have just three, I guess if you count this one, kind of 4 focal papers and a lot more subtle or B-side style papers, which I tend to be drawn to. Although I'm feeling like this kit might be a little off balance in terms of that. So we'll see what I do with that. I mean, because I do use the B-sides a lot of the time, even when I pull the A-sides. So maybe off balance is just how I flow anyway. And then these are more of the planner size papers. I think this was the only print that I didn't see repeated in the larger papers. Maybe the plaid, I'm not sure. So these two pieces I might take a look at as well. more planner papers. I think those patterns are all repeats. We did talk about the die cut pieces a little bit already, but you can purchase them from Cocoa Daisy as separate add-ons. Washi tape, we've talked about some. There's some more washi tape. I definitely have some similar things in my stash, so I will pull some washi tape this time around for sure. More washi tape. Yes, I'm reminding myself to use washi tape because I haven't been using it enough and it does go bad. And then stamps, I've already kind of mentioned my feeling on stamps so far. And journal cards. So I don't use a lot of journal cards. When I definitely am not a big pocket scrapbooker. I save that for very specific projects. All right, that is enough looking over this inspiration. If you want to go check it out, I will leave you links to the Cocoa Daisy site so you can see everything. So I'm going to go to my stash, use all these thoughts that I have gathered up to pull my kit for this month. All right, finding a place to start a kit build is always an individual idea. And what popped into my head, I don't even know why, was that particular piece of paper with the floral kind of foliage frame. And I know Pink Fresh has a lot of that kind of stuff, so that's where I started. I found that floral focal piece in my Pink Fresh supply. And then I went to the plaid idea next, and I did find one that matched. And then looking at that bold chevron, I went to my stash and I found this chevron, not as bold, but definitely has a lot of energy to it. It has some of the same colors as the floral paper, and it adds in gray, so that's going to play a part. And then this stripe paper reminded me both of the washi tape stripe, and there were some other stripes in the kit as well, so I went with that. But while I was looking at stripes, I did pull a couple other pieces, a kind of greeny blue piece, more on the green side, and then and that one's an old October afternoon piece, so that's fun to play with some old paper. And then I have a Vicky Bouton stripe in a multicolor print, so I always try to find prints that have at least all of the colors in there that help tie the kit together. And then I knew I wanted, speaking of colors, I want solid colors or very mild print colors to help pull everything together. And so I was going through, first I was looking for more grays, and this pattern paper had gray, but the reverse side also had kind of this peachy color to it, which fits with my florals as well as that plaid that I picked, and it has gray. So both of those sides of that paper are usable to me, and I'm going to add those into my kit. And then looking for more color support, I found this plaid, which is a very tiny plaid print, and it leans more yellow, but it does have an orange cast to it. So I thought that worked well. And then going with the heart idea, I decided, it's a perfect month to pull in this big bold heart I think that's from Simple Stories. And I've had that in my stash for a while. And then some more little hearts. I think those are Pink Fresh Studio. And then this one is, I believe that's Heidi Swap. Yeah, it's Heidi Swap. And it's a nice bold print, which the boldness reminded me of the chevrons more so than the print itself, although it does have those angular lines to it. So I really like that one. The color tones work, and it brings in a pop of navy, and I'm loving navy right now. And although I didn't go heavy with the navy this time, I did take that into consideration when choosing other things. So this is an older Pink Fresh. It's a partial sheet. And this was in my floral category when I was looking at more florals, and I decided to go ahead and add it because it has some of that navy that I mentioned, and it has some of that orangey, corally, peachy, blushy color that I'm looking at. And then I've got a couple more floral prints, one that's more in the color palette of that Pink Fresh paper. And then there was a darker floral print in the inspiration. So I did pull a darker bold print as well. And I really like the combination of that dark black with the rest of these colors. And the colors in the flowers actually go along with this kit pretty well. I think they lean a little more red, but because they're small, you can't read it that way necessarily. And going back to the papers I set aside as color support, I decided to go ahead and pull them in. So I've got a teal, more of a green, some pink, some corally orange, and some yellow. So the color palette is all over the place, but in general, they are soft colors. And then pulling out these 4 sheets in particular, that's kind of the color palette I wanted to focus on when I'm heading towards my embellishments. So that is the idea that I kind of corralled it down to. So pulling enamel dots, I definitely pulled in that color palette. Although some of these dots kind of skew outside of that just a little bit, but if I use them, I use them, and if I don't, I don't. They just go back in my stash. I love these Doodlebugs enamel hearts, and I've used multiple packages of them, and I keep buying more, so those have to go in here this month. And next up is a tag set. There were various tags in the kit elements, and I just love tags, so I will make some of those. And in fact, I thought I would make them as I go along, and then I realized that February is a load month, which means a layout a day project, and I'll leave you links to what that means if you don't know. But because I'm making a layout every day, I don't have time to do the embellishments while I'm making layouts, so I am going to use that punch tool, which makes frames, and the tag tool to do some pre-made embellishments ahead of time, so join me in a couple of days for that video. As I've been chatting, I pulled a stamp set, not along the love theme, but just kind of a general everyday theme, and it has some journal spot elements to it, which I mentioned earlier. And then down here at the bottom is a whole bunch of embellishments, mostly from Pink Fresh Studio because the colors tend to go along quite nicely. But some of these icons in some of these embellishments, even though they're not from the same collection, and I think this collection had too much of that kind of cranberry color, so I did eliminate that one. But the rest of them have enough colors that can work in, that even though they're not from the same collection as that floral frame pattern paper that I picked, although one of them is, I think they have enough colors that can work in there. And I eliminate those ones. There was a Vicky Bouton and something else, and I eliminated those because the colors were not working and because I had a lot of embellishments sitting there. But a load month means a layout a day, which means I'm making a lot of pages, which means I need a lot of embellishments, and I definitely wanted to bring in circle elements because there were circled chipboard pieces in the inspiration. So my circles are Pink Fresh Flare, chipboard flare, and then some Cocoa Vanilla wood buttons. And then I have a stack of sentiment strips, which I don't know if I mentioned that at all in the kit presentation, but there were sentiment strips in there. I eliminated some Valentine's Day stuff that I had pulled, but I decided, if I need it, it'll be in my stash. It doesn't need to be in this kit particularly. And then a baggie of wood embellishments and hearts and arrows, gotta have that in here. And then I did mention the washi tape, so I am going to be using the washi tape this month, and I have several ideas. We'll see if the layouts the stories that I need to tell go along with my washi tape ideas. We shall see. So here are a couple of close-ups of the final kit. I hope you got something useful out of hearing my thought process through this kit build. I hope you will join us over at the Counterfeit Kit Challenge and build your own kit and play along with our inspiration all month long. I will leave you links to everything below until I come back with that embellishment creation video in a couple of days. I hope you have an artful day.